Hello everyone, Shifali here. Today I'm going to cover a topic on VPC. So we are going to create a VPC and we are going to launch our EC2 instance. As you can see here in the diagram, this is an architect diagram. We are going to create a VPC with the name lab VPC, and inside our availability zone, we are going to create one public subnet and one private subnet. Also, we are going to create a NAT gateway so that our instances in the private subnet can interact with the outside world through NAT gateway. And we are going to create the route tables for public route tables and private route tables. Now let's see on the console. Now this is my AWS account and I have selected the region North Virginia. Let's see in this, I will select on VPC. Now I'm going to create VPC here. So I'm giving my the name here. So as they have told, okay, let's take it the same lab VPC. Okay, and I'm going to give a CIDR block range. So this is mainly the set of IP addresses. Tenancy I'm selecting default because I don't want to create dedicated instances here. Now let's click on a create and our VPC has created. Now, if you see here, this is, if you select here, now this is the lab VPC which I have created. After that, you see, we have to create the subnets because you see here the set of IP addresses which we are getting. We have to divide the IP addresses. So I'm going to create subnets now. Now, as you can see in the architecture diagram also, one public subnet, one private subnet. Okay, so we are going to create here, create subnet. So I will give name my public subnet. I'm going to create in the lab VPC. So I will select that and I will select the first region, that is US East 1A. Now I have to give a range here. So I will give here, now if you see here in the architecture, we have 10.0.0.0. So let's follow the same /24. Now we will click on create and our public subnet has been created. As you can see here now. Yeah, so it has 251 IP addresses. Now the thing is, when you are giving here /24, it should create 256 IP addresses, but we are getting 251 because 5 IP addresses have been used by AWS. Similarly, we are going to create one more subnet and that will be our private subnet. So I will give here name as private subnet, my private subnet. Again, we are going to choose lab VPC, availability zone. So both public and private should be in the same AZ. And then my CIDR block range. So 10.0.1 I am putting here. And then click on the create button. So now we have created both public subnet and private subnet. So this is my private subnet which I have created now. Okay, as you can see, and here you can see all the attributes. So again, both have 251 IP addresses. Okay, one thing I will do, let me delete this because this is the previous one and then it can be a bit confusing. Let me check if it's getting deleted here. It cannot be. Okay, let it be like that. Now after that, I am going to create the route tables. Now as you can see, I have created a VPC, okay, lab VPC. So default route table is already there. So let's rewrite it, okay, let's rename it and I will give here my public route table and this is for my lab VPC. Like that, I will give a big name here, checkbox. Okay, now I will create one more route table for my private subnet. So I will give here my private root table, okay, for which lab VPC. So I have now, and I have to select the VPC here. So mine is lab VPC. Okay, so like this, I have created one public route table and one private route table, as you can see. Now we have to do association with the subnets. So let's see. So my public route table, if I click here and I will click here subnet associations. Now till now, there is no subnet association. So we will click on the added subnet association and I'm going to choose my public subnet save. So now my subnet has been associated with the root table. Similarly, we will do for the private, and I am going to click on edit subnet association and I will check my private subnet. Okay, now after this, I have to edit the roots because till now both have the same. If we check the roots here, both have the only one entry you can see here in the my private root table also, and if you see my public root table also. So both are similar. Now, how to make them differentiate, like which one is public and which one is private? So now in case of public subnet, we have to make an entry of internet gateway. So first I will go to internet gateway and I am going to create here my internet gateway. So I will give here new my internet gateway and then I will give lab name also VPC so that no confusion should be there. Okay, and then I will give here create internet gateway. So this is now, yeah. So let's go to internet gateway here and this is my new internet gateway. Okay, I will associate it with my VPC. So attach to VPC and I want to attach it with my lab VPC. So this is done, right? Now one more thing, we need NAT gateway as well because our NAT gateway is used to have communication, which is to have a communication from private subnet to the outside world. So whatever traffic is originating from the private subnet, that will go to NAT gateway and then NAT gateway will communicate with the outside world. So I am going to create NAT gateway here. So I will give name my new NAT gateway and I will give here again lab VPC. So this is okay. And yeah. Okay, so it's telling here, one second. It's telling here, okay. So here we have to choose a subnet name. Sorry. So I will select the subnet name. So I will select the public subnet. Okay, because NAT gateway should be in the public subnet. So let's see where is my public subnet here. My private, okay, and this is my public, right, with the lab VPC. So I will choose here. I have to allocate a elastic IP address and then create a NAT gateway. So my NAT gateway has been created now. This is okay. And now I am going to give name. So I will give my new NAT gateway and then lab VPC to avoid any confusion. So it is showing it's pending. Let's refresh. Let's wait for some time or maybe some issue. Let's see here. Or one thing we can do. Okay. Okay, so I will delete this and we will try again. Okay, one thing we can do in the meantime, the internet gateway which we created, okay, let's associate our public route table with the internet gateway. So this was my public route table, okay, here, and I will click on the roots and I will edit the roots and I will add one root here. So I want anyone can interact here with the outside world, all instances. Okay, so I will click here Internet Gateway and this is my Internet Gateway, save roots, right? Okay, so close. Now in the meantime, let's again check for the NAT gateway. So this is deleted. Okay, let's create one NAT gateway here. So first it is telling to click, maybe, yeah, um, lab VPC. So I should use this my public SN lab VPC, allocate elastic IP address. Okay, this is optional. Let's see. Okay, otherwise I will give the name here, name, and I will give here my NAT gateway. Okay, lab VPC. Create NAT gateway. Okay, edit the route tables. Okay, so after creating, let's do here. So what I have to do, I will go to my private subnet. I will click on the roots and edit roots. I have to add here a route which can go through the NAT gateway and can connect with the outside world. Okay, so this is the one, or presently I have created this one, save roots. Okay, so let's see. So now we have created our VPC. We have created, so let's go and review here. First we created our VPC, that is lab VPC. Okay, after that we created the subnets, so public subnet and private subnet. So this was public subnet, this is the private subnet. After that we created the root tables, and here we have private root table and public root table. And after that we have done association of the subnet with the root table. Then we created the internet gateway. So this is the internet gateway, as you can see. Okay, we attached it with our VPC, and after that we created one NAT gateway so that our private instances in the private subnet can interact with the outside world. And after that we edited the root tables again. Okay, so this was, yeah, so this is about creating. Now one step is remaining, so we will go to the here NAT gateway. I will select, so let's see which is my here, this one. I will select here and actions. Okay, then I will go to the internet gateway here. I will click and then here. Okay. Yeah, so next step is we are going to check a setting here. So that is, I will go to my public subnet. I will click on the actions and I have to modify auto assign IP settings. So I'll click here. This is so that the instances in our public subnets will have the public IP addresses. So this is done. So now we are going to create an EC2 instance. Okay, so let's go to the services, EC2. Now, as you can see, at present there are no instances. So I will click on the launch instance and I'm going to select the first option, that is Amazon Linux 2 AMI. Okay, so let's use the free tier as it is a demo class. Okay, so I am going to use a free tier with one virtual CPU and one memory GB. Next, configure instance details. So here a number of instances I'm going to create is one, and I'm going to choose my, that is my VPC here, lab VPC, and I will choose public subnet because I want to create EC2 instance in a public subnet, and rest all we will not touch here. And here I am going to give a user data. So basically it is used when we want some configurations or some OS settings and patchings at the launch of the instance. So I have around a small code here. I will copy here and let's see how it works. Yeah, after that add storage. So we are going to take the default value here, that is a root volume we have with 8 GB. Root volume is basically used for the operating system, and you can add as many volumes you want. Next, add tags. It's not necessary, okay, but let's add here. So I will give here my new and EC2. I will give, sorry, my new EC2. Next, security group. So we can create a new or we can use existing, it's our wish. Okay, so if we are creating a new security group, let me put some name here, my new SG, and then I will put here lab VPC. So this is my new security group, and I'm going to add here rule with HTTP as well, so that my instance can easily be accessed through the internet. So review and launch. So this is the window we can review here. Okay, my instance type is AMI, T2.micro, OS is AMI, as you can say, AMI type, and these are the further details. So let's click on launch. Right now, I am choosing proceed without a key pair, just to make a task simple. And now our instance has been launched. Yeah, so we have to wait for a while till it gets into the running state. Okay, so we have to refresh in between to check. And as you can see, this is a status check. So this should come 2 by 2. Basically, it will check the environment status and the system status. So that should come 2 by 2. It means everything is fine. So now our instance is running. Yeah, so if we click here, you can see our instance has the IP address here. Okay, and instance ID, it's running. I can drag to the, okay, VPC ID, it is associated, it's in the lab VPC, it's in my public subnet. So all metadata you can see here. Okay, we have the root device volume here. This is AMI ID. Okay, and if we click here on status checks, you can see it's still initializing, right? So it is checking, see, one is the system status and one is the instance status. So system status checks and monitors the AWS systems which are required to use this instance, whereas the instance status will monitor your software and network configuration for this instance. Okay, so we have to refresh and check. It's still initializing. So yeah, so when it's done, then we will copy the IP address. This is given here, and we will check in the browser it's working or not. So still we have to wait for some time. Still initializing. Okay, let's check once. I will copy here. Sorry. Okay, let's press enter, and as you can see, hello from web server. So this is how my instance has launched now, and with this the lab has been ended. So I will conclude here. We created a VPC. We chose one availability zone. In that we created 2 subnets, public and private. We created one internet gateway so that our instances can interact with the outside world, and we created public route table and the private route table. And inside a public subnet, we created one NAT gateway so that the instances in the private subnet can interact through NAT gateway to interact with the outside world. So here I am winding up my session. Thank you so much.